Alright, man. It is early in the morning. Sun is not up yet, and I just wanted to give a look here of all of the getting ready for the concrete work. So out here, this is the porch with no vapor barrier. You can see the vapor barrier over the shop and living area construction. This is going to have a 12-3, so 3-inch drop over 12 feet. This is 12 feet, and then 3-inch dug a foot down here. These are all 2-foot by 2-foot pylons, or where the piers are for the main columns of the building. Down through here, you've got all of the plumbing. These are 16-inch centers, 3/8. They've got the chairs yet to go on here. Here's my plumbing work down the center of it here, and you can see here the center of the building is here, and then all of my plumbing is about a foot off of that, and that was by design. I didn't want to get in the way of this pier or pylon. And then, you know, you can see where we've got our in-floor drains. Of course, P-traps underneath, tub drain, P-trap underneath, toilet, sink. And these are my utilities here. I'm going to have electrical and water coming in. I'm going to have a little utility room, I think, right here, so on and so forth down here. But this is what this channel has been leading up to this entire time. So if you've caught a random video about a piece of yellow iron, or cutting down through the forest, or fixing a chainsaw, or whatever, this was the true intention always of this channel, was to document homesteading, farm life, farmsteading, and getting to the point where you could build a building on your land. Now, this started out 10 years ago as complete forest. It was like looking into there, but up here. And this was a hilltop. And I was able to widen it by about 40 feet either side by continuing to push dirt off and out. And it made working on this pad a whole lot easier, because now we're down to a good base material. Nice sandy clay. More sand and fill material than anything else. No roots, you know. As I was digging down through the trenches and on these pylons and everywhere across here, there's no organic material, and this has been all tracked over and leveled, and all of the dirt work is done. So today will be today we'll be pouring the concrete. I am going to go to work and do what I do best, be a good, loyal, trustworthy employee. And the people doing this work are going to do what they do best, which is pour concrete. So I'm going to let them do their job. Meanwhile, I'll go do my job. Alright, man. Well, this is the result of a bunch of really hard-working men getting the job done. There was a crew here of about, let's see, 8 to 10 people doing all the concrete work, finishing up the forms, getting the anchor bolts in the ground, getting those all lined up and ready. We had a pump truck. We had about 13 cement trucks for about 135 yards, again 6 inches thick, drip edge along three sides. The other side has got a 20-foot overhang, and then of course along the porch, but the porch had a drop, so it's actually a 12-2 drop on the porch side. But yeah, it's been, let's see here, 4 days, and in those 4 days it's been rainy and hasn't got above maybe 75 degrees with intermittent sun and clouds and rain. So, you know, perfect conditions for cement to set up. The day after, it was the warmest day, and that was when it was 75 and sunny. So they came back that afternoon to cut the relief joints in, and then that night it stormed, and the next day it was sprinkling on and off, and then yesterday, and then now today, sprinkling on and off, misty. Again, not getting above like 70 degrees. So let's take a walk around here, and I'll show you, how it looks. Here's the front porch area, and you can see the slab here. To maintain the thickness, we had to dig down here, but it is just ever so slightly sloped, 2 inches over 12 feet, with a drip edge all the way along the side and the front here, even though it's going to be covered. But you can see where the island is going to be here in the kitchen. And you can see we've got these yellow pine. They emit a yellow pollen. And the next step is going to be to seal this all up. But in the conditions we have right now, it's not entirely possible. But yeah, this will be our, and you can see the anchor, anchor bolts. This here is going to be the second, I guess, family room, you could call it. Not a very big one, and hopefully there will be, at some point, plans to put in, a big kind of window door situation going on here in this corner with a wood stove, to really let the outdoors in. But yeah, just perfect weather conditions, nice and cool, rainy. Still got all my Walmart bags all over there. You can see where the septic runs out here. That's starting to get kind of a crater there. I didn't fill it in very much, and a matter of fact, the floor drains over there, one of them managed to leak through, and it has been running down the septic system. Again, the septic tank not set up yet. Dozer or backhoe, it is, I finally determined it was hydraulic pump. So, but the forms are set up over here. This is where the overhang is going to be, in this area to another footer over there. It's going to be 20 foot and keeping the same ridge line. But yeah, you can see here there's going to be 2 roll-up doors, one there and then one over here. That's going to be really nice, having those centered up in there. And then I've still got room right along the edge here for pallet racks. So it's probably going to be along that wall there is going to be pallet racks, so I can have some vertical storage. But yeah, back out on the porch here. Here's my third roll-up door, and this is going to be nice. This is going to be under the porch. You're going to have entrance to the house up there. You're going to have a second entrance on the front side here, right here. So it'll be roll-up door, entrance there, and then this is my main 3-inch vent. Yeah, you can see here one of the floor drains managed to drain through. It was just a piece of tape on the floor drain, and so that is probably filled up the septic a little bit there. But yeah, next step is going to be sealant or sealer, and that is going to have to come after this gets dried up. But yeah, this is perfect conditions. You want to keep the concrete as wet and not super high temps, not super dry. That way it sets up slowly and sets up strong. But yeah, you can see with the power trowel, I mean, it is just a really nice finish. Too bad it's now going to be stained, with all these things. But anyway, I guess that's just the way it goes. Here's the sealant that I got. This is the heavy-dutiest type of stuff. This is CS 309 non-yellowing acrylic curing and sealing compound. And I've been told by several people, including my contractor and the guy at the store, this is the best stuff. And I even saw an example of it. It goes on and forms to like a layer of glass. And the only way to get it on is to roll it on. It's not a sprayable type of sealant. So you've got to roll it on, and this is enough for 2 fairly thick coats, which will then hold up to, the telehandler and stuff during the building erection. But it is on hold for today for 2 reasons. One, the concrete is still really wet. It's kind of misting on and off today again. And what's the third one? Oh yeah, the trees are all budding, and you've got buds coming out of the tree, and it's windy. So the combination of the wind blowing these buds on to the fresh sealant would not be a good thing. So, to be continued. Okay, man. So we are on, let's see here, we're still within, well, it's actually just about 7 days since the concrete was poured here. This has kind of been a long process since we've had rain. We had rain the second day, which would be, let's see, on a Thursday. And then rain again after that. It was a big rain on Thursday we had. Like several inches of rain. So I mean, it was completely covered in water all day Friday. And then Saturday morning it started misting, and so I couldn't do anything that day. Water on it all day. And then Saturday night we got more rain, so water completely covering it on Sunday. So the first several days there, it was wet the entire time. But they did end up cutting the lines down through it. Now the problem is, I want to seal this. I've got that sealer, but it was basically covered, and it's springtime, so that's why my voice is we got all this pollen in the air. So I went through last night and went over it with a broom. So I got all of the kind of dirt and what amount of staining I could get off of it. Now I've got to apply that sealer. I can see right now I've got stuff raining down out of the trees. It's raining down on me right now. Anyways, I've got this new blower. I figured the only way I'm going to get this done today, possibly, with all the pollen and everything, is going to be with a new blower. So I got this one. This one is, let's see, HBZ 260R. So this is going to be the competition for like the BR86 steel, and I think it's the top level professional grade of a hand blower like this. This one is competing against Stihl and Husqvarna's top. Really nice. It's got a nice anti-vibe system, 2-stroke engine. It's brand new. Sometimes you can't find that good deal, but this one was actually cheaper than both the Stihl and Husqvarna professional grade. Those both ran $300 for the Husky, I think $280 for the Stihl, and this one came in at $260. So you're saving yourself about $40 from the top. But this one actually had the best specs out of all of them. I think it's still got, Husqvarna Red. So Red Max is like Jonsered rebranded, right? I think Husqvarna bought them. But we'll see here if this is going to start and blow all this off for me, and then maybe I can put down some of this sealer. Not bad. pretty happy with my purchase here. This machine and I are going to have to be working in concert this whole way, being as how I've got trees right behind me and the wind is blowing this way, and I've still got buds, you know, coming out of these trees. So let's see on the restart. I've let it cool down here, and the process here is going to be, you know, blow it all off and then take some of my sealant, pour it on here, and then start, you know, painting, basically painting it on there. And I'm just going to go from the corner where the wind's blowing and back, and I'll start by blowing it off and then start with going with this, and we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's really a risk-reward situation, you know. There hasn't been a good day to do it. Now is the only time that I've got to do it before the rain tomorrow. So we'll just see how it goes here. I guess I'll just start in the corner and kind of work my way down. They say one of these cans is enough to do 6,000 square feet, so we'll just see how it goes here. Got some natural staining going on here. It's pretty loose, which is nice. And I just want to try to get it on here as even as possible. You know, this is going to be covered up to some extent. But the guy at the store said this wouldn't come out of a sprayer. I wanted to spray it on, you know, but apparently that wasn't an option. right, so this was after a hard night's work. Basically went until, well after the sun was down. I got half of it done while there was still like ambient light, and then I had to turn the pickup on and point the headlights and move the truck to be able to get the rest of it. But it was important to do that because it was raining the next day. This sealer is meant to fully set up in 12 hours, and so I knew I needed to get it done that night, because if I did it the next morning and then it rained in the afternoon, you know, it wouldn't have been set up. So I finished up about 9:30 or so at night, and I mean, this turned out beautiful and perfect and exactly what it was supposed to be. You know, it's really important to have trusted people to advise you on what to do. There's, luckily enough for me, a shop in town that specializes in contractor grade and commercial grade supplies, and this is the look my wife and I wanted. You know, a deep sealant like that gives it, or not a deep sealant, just a thick sealant that gives it depth, I guess is the best way to describe it. So it looks deep, and it looks marbly, and it looks like, you know, a commercial grade floor. And this is going to be our finished floor. I may go through here. I only did one coat. The contractor at the supply store, or the salesman at the supply store, said to do 2 coats. But what I'm thinking is I'm going to get some, well, there's 2 things really. You can see all the little bits and pieces of stuff. That was still kind of falling. The you know, wind died down a little bit as I was doing it the other night, but the biggest help there was that blower, and that thing's amazing. But getting back to it, two reasons why I didn't do 2 coats. One, we're gonna have that telehandler on here, and then 2 is those little bits and pieces that some of them kind of got stuck on the wet stuff. So I think I'm gonna have to go through here anyway to scrub it down again, and maybe do a power buffer, and then buff it, and then do another coat. But that'll be nice to have the building over top and cover, so you don't have the wind, you don't have the stuff blowing in, you don't have any possibility of any sand or dirt or birds pooping on it and all that stuff. So that's kind of why I'm going to wait on the second coat. I think the first coat is going to be plenty, like I said, to not let the telehandler tires, or the man lift tires, actually stain the concrete. I think it'll come right off of the sealant. It's really good stuff. So check that sealant out. That was earlier in the video. You know what to look for. But let's get a look at it from kind of like a first-person view, and look at kind of the depth of it, and see, you know, if you're looking at sealers for your concrete. And this wasn't like the easiest option for sure. It was the best option according to the salesman at the store, and he showed me samples of it, and they had done and used it on their floor, and they use a fork truck in there, and he said after it was after 10 years of fork truck traffic, you know, fairly consistently, it was still on there with 1 coat. You could still see, you know, just a little bit of sheen. It wasn't like this, obviously. But let's take a look at it here and show you some of the depth. So if that's the look you're going for, you know, maybe this is the right option for you. Alright, so here is what it looks like there. And you can see it's just a mirror finish. But you can see the depth, you know, in the concrete there, of kind of what it's, you know, looking like. And it's just a really nice, you know, marbly looking. I mean, all these little, what some might call imperfections, is really what we're looking for. So this area here is going to be the master bath, bedroom area. I mean, just really nice contrast. There is some yellowing, but that is because of all of the pollen. Man, this is just slick as glass. Just really, really nice. There's still some, you know, standing water and stuff here and there. But, I mean, you can see just a contrast of colors with some lighter and then darker colors. And you can almost see the rebar pattern a little bit there, you know. And some of that, too, is some of the staining from this pollen. It just rained, you know, so there's still standing water in places. Got the nature right at the back door. Man, this is going to be awesome. So, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I, you know, encourage you to do so. If you're looking to homestead, looking to build a house out in the middle of the woods, and want to do a concrete slab foundation and commercial industrial metal building with all the amenities of, you know, city living, that's kind of what this channel is. It's always been the main driving force behind what I'm doing here. So whether it's working on your old car engine so you can save up and not, you know, buy a new car, and keeping the goal in mind of this is what I've been saving for, right? So this channel may help you find a cheap hobby, or you know, look out for problems that happen with older cars, how to fix those, running older equipment, how to fix that. Matter of fact, I think that's going to be the next video coming up here, is troubleshooting why the hydraulics failed on my Ford 555. So if you like that type of stuff, that's coming up. Of course, building this industrial building out here in the woods, the goal here was to not have any wood, because the termites are just horrible out here. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I started on this site, you know, even as much as 15 years ago, with a lawn tractor doing the skidding for me when I first started, after rebuilding the lawn tractor that was left here, of course. But yes, subscribe for more episodes of homesteading out in the woods here. Alright, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there, have you some man time too.